Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Sheena Metal Experience with your host, Sheena Metal, right here on LA Talk Radio.
That's right. It's the Sheena Metal Experience right here on LA Talk Radio. For more info on the show, latalkradio.com, SheenaMetalExperience.com. Don't forget to email me and let me know what you think of the show. If you're looking for me online, it's so easy. I'm just at Sheena Metal everywhere. I'm also the founder of a movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity at IamRaisingTheVibration.com and at our new nonprofit hub, which is RaisingTheVibration.org. I have my own spiritual practice at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com and IamRaisingYourVibration.com. And it's Tuesday, so you know what that means. That means it's Psychic Tuesday. And you know what that means. It means it's Lightworkers Unite here on the Sheena Metal Experience. We had a great Lightworkers Unite on Haunted Playground today from 12 noon to 2 p.m. with my dear friend Paul Jasek. It was his inaugural Lightworkers Unite show, although he's been on the show with me many times. Today, my wonderful friend Jason D. McKean is here. And it's Lightworkers Unite on the Sheena Metal Experience. If you want to watch some past shows, it's WeLightworkersUnite.com. We do psychic readings, spiritual healings, spiritual counseling, paranormal talk, wizard talk. That's your show, wizard talk.
That's my yeah.
We will do a little wizard talk here, fairy talk, whatever you want to talk, we'll talk it here. And Jason, thank you so much. You and your beautiful wife came out to see my first interfaith service at the Founders MCC Saturday night spiritual.
That's right. We got to see the Reverend Sheena in action.
Yeah.
And as I told you, after the service, that you're a natural. Your authenticity. Your passion for the spiritual and how it's put into practice and all. I mean that really shines through, and so many people, because I was part of the audience. Well, how do you define that as far as, because it's not that one looks to separate oneself as the
it's hard in spiritual matters to call it the audience, right?
Yeah,
but it's a congregation really when it's a service. Yeah, I guess it's your parishioners if they're your normal people. There were MCC parishioners there, quite a few.
Yeah.
I don't really have parishioners. I guess now I do. You're all my parishioners from the first time. But I think it's definitely a congregation. When I do the vibration gatherings like I'm doing this Sunday at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, I don't know. I guess I just call it audience, because that's more almost like a lecture.
Yeah.
When it's a lecture, it's an audience, I think. Yeah. You've been to those too.
Yeah, it's you don't want to create a wall of separation, between, someone who is there to worship, who's there to connect to the divine in their own way.
Sure.
It's like you're not looking to just say, this is who I am, this is who you are, and let's just keep it that way. It's like
no, I don't like that at all. No.
You want to be able to kind of lift that wall. So
I
that,
agree.
Bridges are created.
I agree.
And people are able to tap into their experience of the divine.
I agree 100%.
And it was beautiful. Your sermon, if I'm not giving anything away.
No, please.
Because you might want to recap it.
No. You can talk about anything that happened.
Yeah, it's like your theme of I am enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You are enough.
That comes up so much in what it is that we read as psychics.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in the framework of people who come to me, and their experience is either, it's too much or not enough. Either there's a lack that they are feeling in their life, or they are, coming at it from a place of too much. Like it can be, negative experience.
Mm-hmm.
Either a lack of love or too much negativity, and with that concept of I am enough, it's like people look for an equilibrium of balancing out those aspects of how much of themselves they need to activate to play a part, to play a part in their life where they feel like they're getting results, that they're
Right.
just connected to their life, and they're not like being either victimized or like where they're just like being fulfilled.
Absolutely. I've
Yeah.
told the story. I told the story a lot on the show yesterday. That it was interesting because that audience was everything from
I'm sorry, was it an audience or a
audience
congregation?
was everything. You're right. Was everything from folks who the congregation, of which I include myself as part of the congregation,
Yeah.
was everything from folks of mine friends I know that are they're really struggling folks to make ends meet, to folks that are millionaires, series regulars. I mean, everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
People who are adored, people who feel forgotten. When I started talking about and telling the story of how even for me it comes up again and again, situations that make you feel like you're not enough. It was so interesting to see the recognition of what that feels like in every eye that I looked into in that congregation. So all of us feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? It's a universal thing for us that we all feel at some point or another that we're not enough. And it doesn't matter how many kudos we get or how many people tell us we're wonderful or how many fans we have or how much money we make. There is that every single human being at some time or another continually feels in some way that they're not enough.
Yes.
And so I think it's a very universal thing, even more universal than I even realized when I picked it as the topic.
It could be an ongoing series, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where you tap into various levels of that,
Yeah.
and see how, if a certain lack in someone, if they can use that as a way of motivating themselves, so that they keep like, I guess the sad thing is when people kind of generate the same experiences in their life, because they have this hole inside of themselves that they're trying to fill all the time.
Absolutely,
And-
sure.
and they may go to the same source. They may go to the same well
Mm-hmm.
each time. And that's where someone like a counselor as yourself, or a tarot reader as myself, can help shift that awareness, so that people don't try to fill themselves up with things that are not doing the job.
Yeah. Yes. That's absolutely true. Yeah, and believing too much in what others say. Just because somebody tells you you're not enough doesn't mean that you're not enough. That's something that somebody told you. We need to start to separate our own identity from what other people want to sort of thrust upon us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very, very important thing, because you are not the sum total of what other people think of you. You are who you've created yourself to be and who you've made a contract with the universe for you to be. You are not the reflection of what others think you are, because oftentimes others don't have any idea what they're talking about. Just an opinion. And sometimes they're talking to you out of their own lack.
Yes.
So they're creating, from their own lack, a situation where they're feeling like they're not enough. So they're putting other people into other boxes to try to make themselves feel like they're more than enough. And sometimes you're just collateral damage. So you have to not take to heart what other people say.
I will sometimes read with people who, the people that are surrounding them, it's not that they're trying to box them in to feel better about themselves, but they're just lazy.
And that, yeah. Or
they just want to keep
ignorant.
keep someone in kind of their own comfort zone.
Sure.
As far as like their perspective of that.
Sure. And
And-
sometimes they're just ignorant. Sometimes people hear somebody else say, this is what everyone should be, and then they just repeat it
Mm-hmm.
without thinking about it for themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of people, their own ideologies that they repeat ad nauseum are things that they don't even really understand what they're saying. They're just repeating what they heard somebody else say.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I mean, finding your way is a difficult thing in this world, and you have to keep continually growing and evolving. So you're reinventing yourself, you're refinding your way. I mean, soul school is hard. I like to say it's hard to be a people, but it is what it is.
Try being a spiritual person.
Right. Try being a spiritual people.
That's hard.
Yeah. Try. This girl called up who's coming out with her gifts on a haunted playground today,
Yeah.
when Paul and I were helping her through it. And she said, I just want to know like when it's going to be done and I'm going to master my gifts. And I'm like, you don't really master your gifts as much as you learn to live alongside your gifts, and you hope you live alongside them every day harmoniously. Some days you make it, some days not so harmoniously, but you don't really master anything. You don't, or I want to know when it's time for me to master the universe. Yeah, that doesn't really happen, but there are days where, you live in harmony with the universe. Hopefully more yes than no.
I would think that the video game generation would know better as far as like when you master.
Right.
It's like you master a level.
Right.
And then
you're at the next level.
The next level. And then when you've mastered that game, there's a new version that comes out.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So
Welcome to
endless.
the universe.
It's endless.
It's endless and endless and endless. If you want to get on the air with us today, it's so easy. Just send me a text, 818-437-0886. Text me your first and last name. I won't say your last name on the air, but it really helps because, man, there's a lot of common names in my cell phone. So I have to do the last name so I remember who you are. And so I can put you in my Skype system here. And then email I love. That's my primary way to communicate. But 818-437-0886, that's the way to do it. So,
do you know a lot of Jasons?
I do know a lot of Jasons. Do most people not know a lot of Jasons?
When I was growing up, it's like there was not a lot of pre-printed like license plate, things at souvenirs, and at amusement parks and all that of Jason's, because it wasn't a real common name. But now it seems like it's much more common. There was a guy whose name was Mason, and his girlfriend like kept calling him, from across the store that I was at, and I kept like looking because it was like the way she said it was like Mason, and it was like what?
It's interesting. I do know a lot of Jasons though. I think there are more than you think.
Okay, maybe I'm just hurt by that.
Not Justin, though.
I'm not the only one.
I was sitting at a Starbucks once, and this girl came out of the bathroom, and she was on her cell phone. And she said into her cell phone, no, I can never take you seriously because you're an Aries and your name is Justin. And I'm an Aries. So I was like, what? I didn't understand what that meant, but maybe that's like a thing. Beware the air. Maybe that's a thing amongst millennial girls. It's like written on bathroom walls, or they text each other. Beware of Aries named Justin. I don't know.
Did you look in the bathroom? Did you go in there to see if there was any kind of text?
For a really, really horrible time. Don't call Justin the Aries ever, because you'll have a really, really horrible time.
Poor Justin the Aries.
Poor Justin the Aries. The poor guy on the other end probably had no idea why she was so mad. All right, I got to pull up we got a list of people that want to do readings, and I just got to check with them and make sure, see who's still available at this time. Everyone texts me in the morning before the first show, and you got to make sure that they know that the second show is starting, and it's time for them. Meanwhile, I'm putting the link all around Facebook right now, and that's a good thing. And Jason and I will be here for the next 2 hours doing your readings and healings. Are you going to pull a card usually pull a card for the day?
I usually do, don't I?
Yeah, that's fun.
It is fun. Let's see. Do you remember what the last card was?
The Empress. Don't I have a good memory? And you said I was like the Empress by putting things together that creating a playground for people to play.
And I think the Two of Swords was, the Two of Wands was one of them. Like
the Ten of Wands. So tell us what that means, oh tarot expert.
But the Ten of Wands, that is a card of responsibility. It's a card of when we have a lot on our plate, and when it's time to kind of let go of a few things that are not panning out for us, that we're ready to let go of, and to make, create space.
Wow.
Space within ourselves.
That sounds like a card just for me.
Well, the wands, they represent our spirit and that which we're passionate about, and to be able to have all this fire within us. It can feel good. We can feel pretty powerful inside, but there's not that fire doesn't always have a place to go, like outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to not burn ourselves up, it's important to make sure that we're keeping a flow of energy going, and sometimes it can be a card of burden, like where it's like it's too much, and so letting go of some things, so that one can ultimately just kind of like get bring things in that that can be activated and brought out into the world.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Certainly is a lot going. Certainly aligns with a lot going on in my life right now. How about you? What are you working on right now? I talk all the time about everything in my life I'm working on. So your turn.
Okay. Well, I am a teacher of the tarot, and also I do meditations, and I've got like a past life regression that's coming up soon in a couple weeks. I work out of Simi Valley at a crystal store, Healing Oak Crystals. I'll do basic tarot classes there, and
Beautiful.
yeah, and it gives me a chance to kind of reconnect with the basics of tarot. I've got workshops in Seattle and Portland coming up in September.
Beautiful.
And I call those the power of transformation, where people can step into an identity that they're looking to, maybe they've been reticent about saying, oh, I am this person, and if they're able to state that and state it with clarity and confidence in a group setting, because when we speak about ourselves in front of others, it's kind of we're putting it on the line.
Sure.
It's not like we're just saying it in the bathroom mirror, saying, I am a tarot wizard. It all sounds good, and actually in the bathroom, that echoey, it does sound good, right?
That's fantastic.
But when you start speaking that to others, then that's when there's the voices that come back at you, like, oh, it's like, can I have a reading from you? And it's like, okay. It's like, put you on the spot. It's like you have to then deliver. And for anyone who, in this area, when I'm, reading in North Hollywood or so, it's like I'll get a lot of entertainment people, as I'm sure you do as well. It's
sure.
like someone who is like maybe young, who's like, I'm an actor. They may not like fully take that on because they don't have the body of work behind them. So there's a reticence about saying, I'm an actor, because the next question is, what have you been in? And so, they can hold back. It's like, who are you? What do you do? It's like, oh, I do, I don't know, I'm
that always
like,
means some kind of artist, doesn't it? Artist, actor, musician, writer, something's coming.
Who's reticent about being clear.
Yes.
And just saying it loud and proud, and being able to just follow up with, I haven't been in anything, yet, but I'm studying here, and I'm, doing auditions, just to, again, the universe has ears, and the universe can help us. It can help move us forward, and when we are clear within ourselves, that's half the battle right there.
I agree. Yeah, it's so important. Yeah. And when you're, like I talked about Saturday night, when you're connected with yourself, I mean, there really is a firm level of connection, everybody, that needs to happen within yourself. And it feels so good when you get to that connected place. But so many people are just flailing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I like to create an opportunity, an experience for people to stand in that power of, that declaration of self. I am this, right? And it's usually in a very kind of safe space there, because everyone has to do it. No one gets out of it, and so it's a very safe but productive place. And we use the tarot to read people, to see if they're blocking themselves, how they're blocking themselves, if they're too much in their head about it, if they have too much fire within, and they're not like getting a plan together to make sure that it gets out into the world, what it is that they want for themselves. So doing that, creating those experiences, and in San Luis Obispo, Bakersfield, it's like these are places that I have been before, and I love being a part of those communities.
Yeah, and places that need a little work.
Yeah,
places where maybe it's not an LA, and there's not a crystal bookshop on every single corner, and they're not people talking about being woke at Starbucks. And so folks have to work a little harder to find that spiritual connection, or to understand how to get where they're going.
Are they talking about coffee woke or spiritual woke?
I think spiritual woke. Coffee woke is good though too.
Most people need the caffeine. To
I've been off the caffeine 3.5 years.
What?
It's for reals. And
you do all of this work in the world?
No caffeine.
No caffeine?
Almost no sugar, no alcohol, no drugs, no cigarettes, no.
How do you do it?
No painkillers. I mean, a couple of aspirin.
How do you do it? How? What's your secret?
Connection. The connection and the clarity. Being that sober is its own acid trip. And it's actually, the thing about caffeine is it's kind of a beguiling mistress, because when you first quit caffeine, you're exhausted and you feel literally like somebody's hitting you with a wet blanket for 2 weeks. But when you pass through that, you actually have more energy than you have when you're on caffeine, because it shoots you up, but it pulls you down. That it shoots you up and it pulls you down.
Is caffeine a social thing?
Oh God,
days?
Yes.
Because going to the coffee shop.
Yes.
I mean, I do enjoy going to a coffee shop and just kind of being in the ambiance.
Yeah, and I never drank coffee, never in my life. But I go to I used to love coffee shops, and I drink tea.
Yeah.
So now I just go and I drink decaf tea. It's not as fun. I loved a good, strong. Okay, so here's was my drink, about that big, right? Yeah, I didn't mess around. You should see how fat I got at one point. At this point, even more. It was an Irish breakfast, an English breakfast, and an Earl Grey tea bag.
Whoa.
All together.
Whoa.
And then I would put it in and just let it. Yeah, that was my drink of choice. Let it sit until it just got lukewarm and black, and then pour it in and mix them half and half in, and a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg. That was my jammy jam.
Okay.
Amazing. And I have a little bit of a head injury from a car accident I was in my early 20s. And the caffeine helped me really push through. So I could sit in front of the computer and answer 1,500 emails in a night. And I love that. And that's the only thing I miss. I loved how caffeine made me feel, but unfortunately I didn't love the way my blood pressure looked when I did it. So I made the executive choice to quit it. But as in my day-to-day life and how I feel emotionally, I actually have more energy without it. It's just hard to push past that kind of ADD thing the head injury gives me.
Yeah.
That caffeine is really good about laser focus, which I guess is probably why people do speed or Coke, or that high laser focus feels good.
Mm-hmm. But you do so much though.
As
far as you have so many plates that you're spinning, at one time, and for you to be totally on a natural high.
Yep, I'm on a natural high, man.
That it's like you're a living John Denver song or something.
I am. I'm Sheena Metal High. Sheena Metal High. San Fernando Valley. That's who I am. Yes. All right. It's good to make Jason laugh.
It's so rare.
It ain't over till the wizard laughs. Okay, we're gonna get Melissa on with us. Let's do that. I think Melissa's in the system. Let's look and see who's in the Skype system, shall we? 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. That's how you get on with us to get a reading, a healing, some spiritual counseling. Jason will throw a card or three. And this is going to be fun. So now if only the Skype would open up, we'd be rocking and rolling here. Things coming up with me this Sunday, 4 p.m. That's the 23rd of June. I'm doing my Raising the Vibration gathering at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. You know, my two big dreams as a minister this time last year were to work at the MCC, the Founders MCC, and to work at a Center for Spiritual Living. And then my friend Stephen Peters introduced me to Keith Mazingo, and I'm on staff at Founders MCC. And I met Reverend Mike McMorrow from CSL Granada Hills at Betsy Chassey's Christmas party. And there we go. Both dreams, that's how you manifest, right? You know, I always tell people, and we talked about this yesterday a lot. I talked about this with Paul earlier today on Haunted Playground. Manifesting doesn't mean like I want that and I'm going to take that. It's not what that means, because then the poor little rubber ducky unicorn's like, what? Manifesting is just saying, I'm ready for this. And I would love to move forward with this. Now, universe, you show me the path to it. I think sometimes people just get confused as to how the energy of what manifesting is, because then they get all butthurt and they're like, but I said I wanted that Maserati in a kidney-shaped swimming pool full of chicks and it didn't happen. It's like, well, that's you don't really tell the universe what you want, and the universe says, oh, yes, anything. You know what I mean? The universe is not the housekeeper from The Courtship of Eddie's Father. The universe is, the universe is not Mr. Belvedere. The universe is you're working for the universe. The universe does not work for you. So keep that in mind, my friends. And remember that manifesting is asking politely and saying, gee, I sure would love it if I could make this happen now. Oh, benevolent universe, why don't you help show me how to do that?
And it's showing up. It's doing your part in it too. It's like, to catch a bus, it's like you have to walk to the bus stop. It doesn't come to your front door.
Exactly. Right. And you have to work in tandem with the universe to find the steps to get to that bus stop.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, I used this example yesterday, that a lot of people with manifesting, a lot of people see something across the river they want, and they just sit and scream, I want that, I want that, I want that, but they don't ask where the steps are to jump on the rocks to get across the river. They just get perpetually angry and frustrated because that thing is still across the river and they want it. It doesn't, you know what I mean? We act like a dog on a short leash trying to get at the rabbit, and it doesn't work. The leash is just going to keep snapping us back. It's not, you have to find a way to spiritually get to where you want to go, not just sit and scream, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen.
So the dog, it has to grow opposable thumbs so it can unhook itself.
Exactly.
And then go for the rabbit.
And you use what you have, right? So I met Reverend Mike at Betsy's Christmas party. Betsy and I met Betsy on Facebook, invited her on the show. Now we've been good friends for years. Now we're going to teach a workshop series together. I met Mike at her Christmas party. I go to a Christmas party every year. I sent him an email and told him how great it was to meet him and invited him to come here on the show. And he came and did the show, and then he came and saw a vibration gathering. He came out and saw me at the Improv for my birthday party, and then he said, hey, would you like to do one here? We'd love it. Actually, he had me go out to their annual fundraiser for the CSL Granada Hills, and I did psychic readings for it. Mm-hmm. And then he said, hey, why don't you come here and do a gathering, and then we'll see. So I might wind up teaching a workshop there, or who knows what. You know,
might.
I'm pretty sure I will.
I think that's in the cards.
Then, I've known a friend of mine introduced me to Steve Peters at her birthday party years ago. Birthday parties are my good luck thing, apparently, and Christmas parties. And I'd known him for a long time. We'd had when I first became a minister, we had a wonderful talk at a party once about it, and he told me how he thought I'd always been a minister. I just used it in different ways. He's like, your energy has always been that of a minister, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're making people laugh at the Improv, that's what you do. And then I sent him something and said, hey, I would love to learn more about MCC. And he said, we have a new head pastor. Let me bring him on the show. And then we became friends. And I mean, sometimes it's just really about also the steps that you take. What are you doing to move towards the things that you want to manifest? But I think people think manifestation really is, literally that you're like, Mr. Belvedere, and the universe comes out, in a short waistcoat and says, oh, what may I get you, sir? Mm-hmm. That's not how it works. At least that's not how it works in my life. Maybe there is a life where that's how it works, Jason, but that's not my life. Melissa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Sheena. Hi, Jason. I'm wonderful. How are y'all?
We're fantastic. How may we help you, my friend?
Well, Sheena, first of all, I want to thank you up front, because a few months ago I called and I was distraught. I mean, I didn't know how much longer I was going to be here.
Oh, honey, I'm so
and
sorry.
I spoke with you,
Uh-huh.
and you clarified for me about me being an empath, and a very strong empath.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I dove headfirst
Good.
into the spiritual waters,
Good.
and I've been doing a lot of work, and it has absolutely turned my life around. Thank you so much.
Sweetie, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're still here. We need you here.
Oh yes, me too. Me too.
And did you
so
realize, just for
basically-
folks that are listening, sweetheart, did you realize that a lot of what you were feeling, that you were interpreting as depression or an inability to cope, was actually just that you were getting a lot of energetic information that you weren't sure how to filter out?
Absolutely. I've always known that I was very different, but I guess everybody imposes mental issues or health issues.
Oh, sure. Right. You're
on
not.
people
You're not.
that are different.
Right. You're not an empath. You're crazy.
And-
Sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's just an amazing awakening. I started
So
2 years
glad.
ago when I had a terrible car wreck, and it just, wow, it almost just destroyed me. Like, I gave up. I hid in my house for 2 years.
Honey,
Couldn't
I'm
be
so
around
sorry.
people, nothing. But I'm doing a lot better now. I'm learning to heal myself, and taking energy classes and
Good.
spiritual classes, things like that.
It's so beautiful, sweetheart.
Oh,
How
that's
may we
awesome.
help you today? What can we do to further aid you on your journey, babe?
Well, I guess one thing, I'm having a frustration with meditation.
Okay.
I always fall asleep,
Ah,
and
that's okay.
and I want to be able to be there to take like the shamanic journey, listen to the drums, and actually be present of what's going on
Sure.
in the meditation. And two, I'm so confused about what I'm supposed to be doing, because I understand we're pioneers, the star seeds and indigos and the rainbows. You know, we're all pioneers in what we're doing, so we can't really look out and say, "Oh, that's what I'm going to do in life." You know, it's not something that's already been done, pretty much. Or at least that's what I believe.
Okay.
So I just kind of want to know where I'm going, because if I surrender and I give up the 3D belief systems, and I want to, ascend to 4 and 5D before I die,
Okay.
what do I need to do? The universe is supposed to catch me, but how can it catch me when I'm floundering, I guess?
Well, okay. So, sweetheart, first of all, wow. All right. So, yes, we are pioneers, but there have been people like us on the earth since the beginning of time, and people like us on other planets since before that. So,
Yes.
in some ways, we're pioneers. We're always sort of breaking ground. You know, we're the people who, with our picks, are picking through the tunnel to the light beyond. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people that did that generations before us. So we are following in the footsteps of others who've done it since the beginning of time. So don't think of yourself as not really having a plan for it, because others have had that plan. So that being said, let me also say in a completely dichotomous fashion that there is no plan. The universe gives us the plan that each one of us is supposed to have and guides us down that road dependent on where they need us. So think of it like military, there's reserve duty and then there's active duty. So some people are light workers in reserve, which means they do it when they're called to it. So they don't really do it for a profession. They do it, let's say, when they're needed, and they work, for an insurance company, but then somebody in the office is having a meltdown, or somebody in their life is having and then they're called into duty. Then those of us who do it all the time, we're like in active duty. I was in reserve duty for decades before I did it in active duty. So
Okay.
the universe calls you when they need you for something. Just like if you were in the military, one day you could get a call and it could be like, oh, guess what? Now we're shipping you off to Germany. We need you here. Or now we need you to go to Alaska and do this thing. So it's not so much about always worrying about what you need to be doing. Like I was talking about with manifesting, it's not about shoving forward at the universe. It's about just being where you are and letting the universe tell you where you're needed. Does that make sense? And if you learn to listen, honey, and you open up that channel, you will be consistently getting those messages for where you're supposed to go next. It's just a matter of opening up that channel and allowing that to happen. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
It's
I
hard.
guess in that sense, I'm feeling like maybe I'm like super reserve. I don't know if maybe I'm going through an in-depth boot camp.
You're in boot
kind
camp.
of a
Yes,
thing.
you're just starting, sweetie. Yes, you're definitely in boot camp. And the other thing is, the whole like wanting to be in the 4D and the 5D before you die in this lifetime. Whoa, baby! Like my mama used to say, give yourself a break, kid. You are pushing way. I understand when we're new with this and we just kind of find it, we want to like devour everything and learn everything and know everything. I would be willing to bet that probably nobody on this phone call right now, none of the three of us, are really going to like master the 5D before we're dead in this lifetime. So just learn a little bit every day and know that there are many lives beyond this one. And it all doesn't have to be done this week, and it all doesn't have to be done this life.
Yes.
It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And you're doing really great. So every time you start to freak out because you haven't mastered everything and you don't know how to astral project and you can't fly, you can't die and resurrect yourself. Just remember that Sheena said that it's everything in its own time, babe. Okay?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Okay.
So my husband is completely supporting me right now in
Isn't that
everything,
wonderful?
financially, everything. And at
great.
some point, I kind of, I want to be able to give back, if not financially, something just as substantial as helping financially. Do you see any kind of employment coming or something that I need to look into?
Jason, you want to take this one? I've been talking a lot.
One of the first, the very first question that you asked was about meditation, right? And I have, done meditation for many, many years. And there's such a thing as active meditation as well, which is where one is doing something that is like repetitious. It can be knitting, it can be crocheting, it can be usually it's best if you're not like using like sharp implements, anything that's too sharp. I guess knitting needles are kind of sharp, but it's like where one is in a kind of a quiet space, and yet you're not like trying to go into that deep meditative state that can, like once you go past theta, you're gonna like one can't hold theta for a very long time unless they're in a like they're a practiced meditator. And it's like we can go into alpha usually if we're watching like a really good movie, or so we get into this hypnotic state that's like deep alpha, and then sometimes we'll slip into theta, but we're more inclined to just kind of slip off into like a sleep if we get too deep. And so you can sit up, you can sit in a chair rather than lie down. You can shorten an induction, so you don't take yourself too deep, so that you go where you fall asleep. And just sit down, take 3 deep breaths, as the intro. Start with that. All right, and then, are you working on like your own meditation? Are you guiding it yourself? Are you listening to programs? How is it that you're going about it?
No, actually, I'm working with guided meditation because If not, I just go all over the place, and it doesn't feel natural for me, to guide myself for some reason.
Mm-hmm. So they're an audio program?
Yes.
So if you were to like just skip ahead, just put it to a place where, most of the relaxation part is just kind of done, so that you're not falling asleep, and allow for that part of you to, just be relaxed, but then go to the program, go to the the guided part that has you, like, thinking of your past, or whatever the program is on it. I pulled 3 cards for you, to look at your kind of spiritual path there, and it's like there's a lot of interest right now, a lot of passion. 8 of Wands, 7 of Swords, Page of Swords, and that's the swords. They represent the mind, and it's like the mind. It likes to know, right? It likes to take our experiences and start to figure out, the meanings and all. It's like, and also like what it's all adding up to. It's like I've had all of these experiences, and where is it taking me? And and I'm seeing, Melissa, that to be able to just kind of like have the experiences, right? Allow for a sense of empowerment, with the this new attitude towards your spiritual growth, to know that that's a perspective that you want to keep being in. You want to keep growing that identity for yourself as a spiritual being, and certainly finding ways to talk about it. It's important to with friends and family. They can sometimes get sick of when we talk about something too much that we're passionate about. But if there's other groups, if they're online groups or meetup groups, or just anyone who else has that interest, it's like it looks like it's important for you to just kind of like talk about it, and kind of like get out of your your own head about it too, and hear some other perspectives, and that's part of that movement out of the super reserves. That's an elite fighting force, by the way, the super reserves that you're in.
You're the best at sitting there waiting to be called. The best and the brightest.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
but to move out of that place, so that when the opportunity does call you, and you'll know it when you see it. It's usually where we least expect it. It's like I was in a place where I was like walking on the street, and there was this homeless person, and they were like, just they turned to me, and they asked me for my business card, and it was kind of like a really weird request. It was like, what are you going to do with this, but it seemed like it was like a really important thing for them to have, and to kind of calm them, to keep them soothed, and so I gave it to them, and it's just like, if I had said, get away from me, what this is crazy, then it would have like kind of taken me out of that spiritual space of like, where we see the divine in all things.
Yeah.
And just kind of keeping us open, keeping us on our toes, and just like ready for opportunities to call upon our own spiritual nature.
Yeah. And I, for one, am terrible at meditation. I'm wonderful at active
You are?
meditation. Fantastic at active meditation. I'm horrible at passive meditation. I have a really raging case of ADD from a head injury, like I talked about earlier. And so I have when I try to still my mind, it just gets like, whoop, squirrel. And then I can't concentrate on anything. I'll be like, oh, and a wonderful thing about meditating is, whoops, clean out that file cabinet. So I have to, the best way for me to meditate is while I'm doing something, walking, swimming, cleaning something, just kind of rote memory stuff. That's when I go into physical action, that's when I can meditate really well. But just sitting somewhere like with my little pinchy hands up in the air in a yoga position, it's like, and squirrel, and I start thinking about something to do, or I randomly pick up my phone and start working. I'm like, oh, that's right, I was supposed to be meditating. So it's a constant face palm with me. So don't sweat it, honey. All of our gifts work and manifest in different ways. We're not all the same. We're not supposed to all be the same. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it does. It just, it's nice to know where you fit in, where you can really make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not looking, once I've developed some more of my psychic skills further, I'm not looking to, charge people or make a living off of it. I just want to take people and their souls out of the pain that I was in. I want to help them with that because I know how devastating that period of my life was.
And part of that is by sharing that, by, activating your voice, utilizing your own experience, talking about it, listening to others, and sharing your experience. There's the basics of the spiritual journey are connection, connecting to everyone's divine journey, because everyone has a connection to creation, and so when you allow for your own story to inform you as to how you talk to people and how you share with others, you start to see the value of your own life, to see the difficulties as something that is as important to you as the joys and all of that you've experienced also. The struggle and the joys, it all makes you the person that you are, and to be able to celebrate it and share it and help lift others who are just kind of just back down the trail a little bit, who need to know that they can come up to a place of where they're not struggling so hard either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not supposed to be that hard, sweetheart. It's really not. It's the universe wants you to get to a place where it's not that hard, where it feels easier.
Right.
And that's where you're going to go. That's where you're heading, sweetheart. And you're doing so much good work, and we're so proud of you, and we love you. And please,
absolutely,
please call us again. Let us know how you're doing, and you've got my cell and my email. Stay in touch and let me know how you are. And that's the thing. If I give you my cell phone and tell you to text me for this, or send me an email when I'm doing my live broadcasts on Facebook, honestly, continue to keep my stuff and stay in touch with me. It's not like you text me once and I'm like, don't ever text me again. If I open up myself to you, then I want to stay in dialogue with you. And that means please send me a text and say, hey, guess what? After I talked to you and Jason, I had the best week of my life. Great. We want to hear that because it makes us feel good to know you're doing well. That's part of our job. So our job doesn't end when the cards are flipped or the money's exchanged or whatever the story is. Our job never ends. We stay in touch with you for as long as you need to because we're taking a spiritual journey with you. So now we're gonna get Sheena on the air,
and it is part of our spiritual journey.
Yes, it is. Helping you helps us.
That's right.
I love to say we're gonna get Sheena on the air. It's so weird.
Really? There's a Sheena. There's another Sheena.
I have a couple of Sheenas that I give readings to. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
It's almost as weird as I always think it would be weird to date somebody with your same name. That would get a little dicey at times. So it's the same way. It's like, so another thing, Sheena. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. It's nice to hear your voice. Say hi to Jason, and how may we help you?
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi, Sheena. Are you the good Sheena or the bad Sheena?
Well, I hope I'm the good one. I'm hoping I am. We're both good.
We're both good. Only good Sheenas. Only good Sheenas here.
Nice.
There are only good Sheenas here today, people.
Definitely.
What's on your mind, my friend? I can see Jason's getting his cards ready. Are you excited? The cards are getting ready.
Yes, I've never heard any of his card readings, so I'm definitely excited.
Do you know what? Those cards are so loved, and they have the best energy. Just feeling them, there is so much energy on these things. There's so much love in that deck.
Awesome.
So much. So what's on your mind, hon?
Yes. Huh?
What's on your mind? What's going on with you?
nothing. I was just kind of wondering more about my future. Some things are changing, so I'm kind of
nothing?
just curious about futuristic.
Are things changing at work?
No. Well, I got a new job, but we might be moving. So looking forward to the move. So just wondering maybe like what might come about or.
Yeah. I mean, I think the move looks like a good thing. Are you going to need to switch jobs when you move? Is it a faraway move?
Yeah, well, it's 3 hours.
Yeah, so
yeah, kind of far.
Well, then new job again. So you've got a new job, and you're going to wind up having another new job. So changes at work changes at work for sure. Yeah. What's going on?
Definitely.
So I guess when I said are things changing at work, they're going to change at work, aren't they?
Definitely. Yep. So I'm excited for upcoming events and see how it's going to go down. So new opportunities and new beginnings.
Absolutely. I think the fresh energy is going to be really good for you, and I think you're gonna really settle in there nicely.
Good. Definitely excited about it.
Jason, what do the cards say?
Well, I pulled the Queen of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Three of Pentacles, and the most like troubling card there, that Hanged Man that comes in there. He that's a card of sacrifice, and knowing that with a move and all that's coming up, it's like there's change that's can be kind of that abrupt kind of you're in a new location and all, and it's like having to just kind of resettle in, and
sure,
and it's a card of making kind of a short-term sacrifice, but keeping the long-term goal in mind. It's really super important to make sure that your goals are clearly defined and that you're connected to it, so that one gets through those short-term sacrifices of just having to readjust and all. But the Three of Pentacles is a card of support. It's a card of where it's like you'll be in a place of joy, and also a place of growth, where it's like the pentacles are all about the monetary aspects being provided for, so it's going to be quite good for you down the road, and then the Queen of Wands, that first one, that's energy is one of being the keeper of the flame. We're all responsible for our own spirit, to make sure that we're motivated, that we feel alive, and it's important to make sure that you're tapped in, Sheena, to your own flame.
Sure.
There, so that again with all these changes and all, it's like it's like having the feeling of connection to the big picture of your life, and not letting kind of like the smaller aspects, the day-to-day aspects, throw you off, so that you know why you're doing things, and again,
sure, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah. and just keeping that flame cooking right along, and staying active, and finding in a new place, moving to a new place, finding like new people, places that you connect with, that just kind of keeps the spark going, so that you're not in a place of regret, or saying, oh, it's like the place that we were in before was better for this or whatever. It's just kind of finding new stuff there that you are in sync with, so that it keeps the journey moving forward, and you in a happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think I'm definitely at a pivotal point in my life where I want change. I love meeting new people, and that's kind of my personality anyway. It's like I love talking to people and new environments, and we'll be in a big place. So it will definitely be new opportunities.
Yeah.
So thinking a positive aspect of it, definitely.
Yeah, and less chances to get bored. You can get bored.
Oh, I get very bored. I'm very restless, so I like to just keep moving and moving. Definitely my personality.
And more places where you can connect with folks who are more spiritual too.
Yep. Oh, definitely.
which is super important.
And I'm definitely a spiritual person, so
yeah,
no doubt about that.
No, I think it looks really good, honey. This move feels really great.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's a good thing. I'm excited, nervous but excited. So,
and again, it's good to be, like a little bit of nervousness. That's motivating, right? Too much is paralysis, and
sure.
To be like a little bit of nervous, like everyone who goes on stage before a play, or it's like it's electricity. It's like one can feel alive in that. But it's important to be able to navigate that nervousness, so you don't hold back. So because I don't see any holding back for you, especially with the Queen of Wands coming up.
Yeah, there's no holding back in Sheena's life.
Forward. There's no backwards. It's only going forward.
That's fantastic.
So I'm definitely excited, like I said, and I really appreciate this too as well.
Oh, you bet, honey. We appreciate you, and we thank you so much for being wonderful and for the call, and we want only the best for you. So please stay in touch and let us know how we're doing, and how you're doing and what's going on with the changes in your life, because we want to know how you sailed through them. We know you're going to sail through them beautifully, but it's also nice to hear that you sailed through them, because we worry. I worry. Check in. I worry. If you want to get on the air with us, 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. Send me a text and we will get you on the list to be on the air, like we're going to do for Vicky right now. And this is fun, right?
Yes.
You having fun, my friend?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I love doing this.
You having fun?
Yeah. When you say I worry, are you channeling your mom at that point?
Am I channeling my mom?
Yeah, when you say, I worry about you.
Not really. My mom didn't worry much. I think I'm much more of a worrier than she is.
Yeah?
Yeah. My mom worried about a lot of irrational things. Like she had a lot of health worries about herself and stuff, but she wasn't that much of a worrier. I think I'm more of a worrier. Okay. I think that's my Aries worry. I worry. That's
because there's a lot on your plate. You're like looking to change the world.
Right. I worry about folks' hearts. I think that's my empath thing. I think about people's hearts all the time. So when we've connected in some way, I'm thinking about your heart. So, yeah, I think that's my thing. I like to know how people are doing. When I hear that somebody's going through a time of transition, or maybe a time of turmoil, or like, our sweet caller, Melissa from earlier, who's going through so much, I like to touch base and have them let me know how they're doing, because I want to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah.
So I do, I guess. I do worry, huh? I'm a worrier. What can I say? Not like I'm a obsessive worrier, but it's nice to, I think about you all the time. You're all, like all of you that call into the show, all my clients, you're all kind of rattling around my spiritual periphery. I check in with every one of my clients. Every couple weeks I send a text and check in with all of them. Because
like a personalized text?
Like a personal text that just says, hey, how are you? I'm just thinking about you. It gets more the more clients I have now, but I send out a little text message and I say, I'm just thinking about you. I hope you're groovy, and let me know if there's anything going on that I can help with, or let me know how you are. And most people are like, wow, nobody ever checks up on me. And I'm like, I do. I worry.
So when you were talking about like,
we got you, Vicky.
Going through like 15,000 emails in the evening.
Yeah, that's just,
you weren't kidding.
It's just my clients. I'm not kidding at all. I'm not playing with you people. This is serious for me. Vicky, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Hi, Sheena.
No, Vicky puts up with my weird. She's a good egg.
I can verify you do check up on us.
I do check up, don't I? I mean, that's the thing. I like to check up with people and make sure everybody's, see if there's anything I can do to help anyone's heart. Yeah, that's a thing for me.
Yes, you do. Yes.
Yeah. Jason's like, really? Wow, Jason's mind blown.
No, yeah. I'm just up in my castle there. I just, lower the drawbridge, and it's like, no, I need solitude.
Right, and I'm down at the bottom going, hey, you okay? Asking all the serfs, are you okay? Are you okay? Everybody okay? Farmers okay? Serfs okay? Landowners okay? This horse okay? Everybody okay? You're up in the castle, and I'm down like, in the middle of the moat. Anybody need anything? Anybody need me to run get a burger for them? Anybody okay? And then we wonder why my knees can no longer carry the burden, Jason. We wonder why sometimes my heartbeat gets irregular, because I'm like holding the earth on my shoulders like, everybody up there okay? I am the turtle. The earth is on my back from old mythology. Vicki, please say hi to Jason, and how may we help you today?
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Vicki.
Well, you kind of know what's going on with the narcissist husband.
Okay.
I told you.
Say a little bit again, just for listeners who are just tuning in, and for Jason, because he's just tuning in to you. Tell everybody just the real quick story of the narcissist husband.
Well, he started cheating 9 months after we were married online.
Wow.
I've caught him 3 times at work with his girlfriend, which he denies, and I'm stupid every day, called names and told I'm an idiot because I've caught him online in porn chats, single sites, and so I finally filed for divorce. He refuses to sign them because he doesn't have a woman of the month.
Doesn't have a
flavor of the month.
Doesn't have a current temporary mommy to take care of him and change his diapers.
Yeah, and we just found out last Wednesday my dad had lung cancer, so there's a lot going on right now.
I'm so sorry,
and
sweetheart.
I just want to know what maybe the next 3 months, 6 months,
Yeah.
'Cause I'm kind of doubting my own decisions right now with everything going on. I have back surgery coming up August 1st. So
don't doubt your stuff, sweetie. That's not, you don't need to. Okay. So first of all, let me tell you a couple things. First of all, sweetheart, you're completely overwhelmed. You need to take a giant spiritual laxative and let it all go. And, part of what you need to let go is the narcissist husband. So I had a narcissist spouse. And what happens after you've been with the narcissist is, even when they're technically, you think they're gone and you're over them, their kind of sticky, gummy, energetic residue sticks to you. And part of how that manifests, sweetheart, is it becomes your story. You become the chick that had the horrible narcissist husband. I became, the person with the crazy person that I was with. The problem with that is that after a while you realize, like, man, my identity has become, I'm the person that this thing was done to. And I realized a couple years after it was done, I mean, I've been out now 5 years or so, that I didn't want to be that person anymore because it was still giving them power. Because every time somebody talked to me, they were like, "Oh my God, how's it going? And what happened? And have you heard from them?" And and it was like the trauma of the situation loomed so large that I might have still been in the trauma for all it was worth, because the trauma was still following me everywhere. So I think for you, when you're feeling like, oh, my life feels like the inside of a dirty vacuum cleaner bag, it's because you still haven't let the spiritual residue of him go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You've kicked him out of the house, but you haven't yet vacuumed and scrubbed and Febrezed and saged and, put a Glade plug-in in and cleaned the energy out. And that's what's going on. And then, of course, he's hanging on by his toenails because that's what all narcissists do. It's the joke I always tell. The riddle is, how do you get a narcissist to go away, right? And the answer is, it's a trick question. Narcissists never go away. You have to go away. Because the farther you go away, the more they will chase you, because they can't live on their own. They need hosts. And they're desperately looking for the host to change the diapers and wipe the bottom and be a good mommy. And you don't want to do that anymore.
Nope.
So I think, sweetie, you need to start working on, and I know it's so hard, so I say this with like just gobs of love. You need, and I've been there, honey. You need to start working on figuring out who is Vicki, aside from the nice person that the icky person did something to. And start working on that. And the minute you start working on that, you're going to start feeling better. It's like how you dread cleaning the garage, but as soon as the garage is clean, you're like, oh my God, my life is so different now. You have to literally clean out the storage unit of this relationship and move away from the energetic damage that was done to you, and clean some of the sludge of this person's energy off of you. Take like a shower, like from the movie Silkwood, with like 4 guys in hazmat suits just scrubbing the shit out of you. That's what you need energetically to get rid of the energy of this guy. Poor Jason has to sit here and deal with all my crazy analogies and just all my just general crazy, Vicky. So Jason's pulled some cards for you. Let's see what they say.
Well, what's always fascinating to me is like, I pulled these cards and Sheena doesn't read the tarot, but
I don't really.
What she's like talking about is like I'm seeing very clearly laid out in the cards, and I pulled the Knight of Wands, the Alchemist, and Justice, and and the Knight of Wands, Vicky, is a card. It's like the quest card. It's the a card of where we're looking to find ourself, right? And he's this knight. He's like he has his torch, and he's like down in like the underground caverns there, and it's dark and it's probably cold, but one is just so like willing to just kind of like get out of this place to to find themselves, to find the surface, right, to be in the sunlight again, to get out of the cold and damp and feel like one is like kind of reclaimed a place on the surface rather than being like under one's thumb or just kind of relegated to someone else's shadow, right? Because it's like the narcissist casts a very wide shadow, and it's like we don't see the sunlight for ourselves, right? It's like they make it so we feel we're not deserving of it, And so it's about you being able to kind of reclaim that energy of this is what I want for myself. I want to be out of the shadow. The alchemist, it's like the alchemist takes base material, lead, and converts it into gold, right? It raises the vibration of it, and part of what we do when we've been in a relationship that can diminish us, it's like if we allow for it, we can be still in that diminished state when it's over, just like Sheena was saying there. But the alchemist knows that to find value, one has to raise the vibration of that, and so one can take their own experience, which can be like a bad experience, and find little gems in it, aspects of of where maybe you had a awareness of this person, how they treated you, and how you like started to fight back with it, how you started to kind of rise within yourself to say, I'm not taking this anymore. Where you find the places of power within yourself that is strength, right? And being able to call upon that strength in even more doses, as far as like to really like raise yourself up there, and to not look at it as a place that it's like sometimes I feel that the relationships that we go through are ones that they can start off like pretty good, and then they can kind of like turn south pretty bad, and it's like and it sounds like that's kind of what happened here, but instead of like just creating that story for yourself, that I'm this person, I'm going to be that person forever, it's like where you say, what, I see what I did there, I forgive myself, for maybe not seeing some signs early on or whatever, and I have the opportunity to try again, right? No one's a master of relationships. No one's a master. We're all kind of inventing and reinventing ourselves as we go, and to give ourselves that leeway, and to recognize when we're seeing our own value, when we're projecting our own value so that someone else can see it as well. And then, finally, the Justice card, I feel that that's a card of where things come back into balance for you. It's I think that you will get a divorce, that it will finalize that, and then there will be another opportunity, and for you to operate at a more, I want to say, a wiser level, right? Because this experience, if you were to just repeat it and go through the same exact thing, then it's like you haven't learned a lesson, right? And you sound like you're someone who wants to learn the lesson now so that you don't have to repeat it. Forward.
No repeats.
No repeats, right?
No.
And so take the time to honor yourself, so that you're recognizing your strength, so that you can apply that strength in the moment, so that you can call someone out in the moment, and either it's like you take yourself out of that situation, like Sheena was saying, it's like, how do you get rid of a narcissist? Is that the right?
Yeah. How do you get a narcissist to go? How do you get a narcissist to go away? It's a trick question. A narcissist never goes away. You have to go away.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised, and we've talked about this, Vicky. Don't be surprised if like 5 years down the line, it's like, oh, it's me. What's going on? Yeah. And you just have to be ready to say, hey, and you don't be angry because they feed off negative energy too. You just go, oh, hey, great to hear from you. Yeah, not a lot going on. I'm real busy. I got to run, but I'll talk to you soon. Have a good life. Bye. And then, nothing. You give them the wall of pleasantness. The wall of pleasantness. I learned that from our friend Angelica Perman, the wall of pleasantness. Just they get a smile, but they get nothing energetically from you. Yep. Because they will keep coming back around and trying weird things.
Yeah. Yeah, they feed.
They do.
They feed
when my mom died, pretty much everyone I'd ever known in my life showed up that day and was like, oh, hi. Like, oh man, maybe she's weak enough now that she'll let me back in. They're like looking for a little like crack in the armor to crawl through. And that's just what happens. And you just have to be tough against them. But know that you taste delicious energetically. And that's why they want so much to do with you. But you're going to be fine, sweetie. I'm sorry about the sickness in your family. I'm very sorry about that. And that's hard. And I know you've had a real rough time, sweetie. But we love you. We're wishing you the best. And are you feeling a little more hopeful, a little more like you're out of that relationship and you're doing better?
Yes. It's so peaceful here without him.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
It's like so different.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
There's in my version of the alchemist there, he's like his back is turned to this raging storm that's going on in the background, lightning and thunder and the gray clouds, the black clouds, and his back is turned to that, and he's doing what he needs to do for himself. And it's like the narcissist can just be kind of consumed with their own path, and that they would gladly suck you into their storm. And by not allowing yourself to be to be in kind of the calm, it can be swirling around you, right? But you're in the eye of the storm, the calm, and to not be affected by it, to not turn your attention to it and say, oh, poor person, but to know that if you're to do that, you'd be just like sucked right back in.
It's a hard place. I mean, we all deal with it. There's more of them all the time. They've always been around, but they seem to be in a feeding frenzy right now. And it's hard to know how close do you get, how much do you stay away, how do you deal with them, how do you protect yourself from the next one? I mean, they're everywhere. And I think eventually I'm going to wind up teaching workshops about narcissist protection too, because it seems to be that because I survived one, a lot of folks come to me and want advice about one.
Yeah, and it's like utilize that.
Yeah. Here to help, sweetheart. We love you.
Yeah, thank you.
We wish you the best, and we We know you're going to be okay. We have all the faith in the world that you're going to be okay, sweetheart. You just got to keep the faith, okay?
I totally see that with the Justice card coming up, balancing.
So
that.
cool.
Yeah.
So cool. If you want to get on the air with us, it's so easy. Just
how easy is it?
You go to 818-437-0886. You text my personal cell. Here it is, right here in its little case, being its thing. iPhone SE. It's a little old. Need to get a new one. There you go. No time to get one. And then you send me a text, first, last name, email. Say you want to get on the list. You're on the list. That's it. Just like Anya did. Now she's on the list, and now she's on the phone with us. And it's Lightworkers Unite. We're at WeLightworkersUnite.com. It's the Sheena Metal Experience. That's the show. SheenaMetalExperience.com, LATalkRadio.com. Let's do this. Anya, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for putting me on today.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to hear from you. Say hello to Jason, and how may we help you?
So, hi, Jason.
Hi, Anya.
Thank you again for peace and love to you all.
Thank you.
I just wanted to see where I am in the stage of my life, I guess. I lost both of my parents in the past 8 years, and I've been working very hard on releasing the pain, releasing the anger, and, in the growth of my own spirituality, if you wish. And I meditate on a daily basis. So, I mean, there's so many different things that I'm doing. I feel like I'm all over the place at some parts. But with that said, I just don't see things clearly. So I want to see my path, and I need more guidance. I guess that's the reason why I'm here, because I have so many gifts that are so closed in, and they're opening up. And I hear things, I see things, I read things, not physical things, if you know what I'm talking about.
Sure. Uh-huh.
So it's in a way, it's kind of scary.
Sure it is. Of course, it's scary for all of us, sweetie, for every one of us, for Jason and me too.
I'm not scared.
He was a little scared.
Scared.
He was a little scared. When he ain't afraid of no ghosts. When you first start opening up, it's a scary thing, and nobody really tells you how to do it. There's no rule book to do it. Some people in your life don't believe you. It's a scary thing to tell people. I mean, it is a coming out process, just like coming out of any closet. And first thing you have to do is come out to yourself. So you have to say that this is the thing. I have gifts. Say it out loud to yourself.
But I knew all of my life I've had that.
Sure.
It's just, it's more or less, making the deals of you can't bother me now, or you can't, how do I do that? How do I go forward
you mean with spirits?
It's constant.
Mm-hmm.
It's so overwhelming sometimes that I can't either sleep or, I can't work because someone is always there. It's the smells, it's the, the attention, it's the
stinky
messages.
Spirits.
I can't really come up to a person and say, look, this is what's happening. And people look at me like I'm insane half the time.
We don't think you're insane, honey. We know exactly what that's like. Spirits can be very, they can be very persistent when they realize that it's sort of like when you leave the light on, all the trick-or-treaters come. So if you turn the light off, then the trick-or-treaters skip your house. So your light right now is just blasting away like a big old halogen porch light.
Like a beam.
And all the trick-or-treaters are like, oh, look at that light. I bet she's just got a shit ton of candy for us. And they're all coming over in their little ghoul costumes and showing up on your porch. So
I literally cannot go to the cemetery to visit my parents because when I go there, it's everywhere. Everybody thinks it's free for all. So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. They're like, look who showed up at the cemetery. The lady with all the candy. She just showed up at the cemetery. We don't even have to go to her porch now. Yeah. Well, sweetie, here's the thing. First of all, you have to think of it like this, okay? The three-dimensional world and the spirit world are just mirrors of each other. So you have to treat spirits the same way you treated people. So if everybody in your address book suddenly decided they were going to show up unannounced at your doorstep, you would have to start saying to people, look, please don't come over unless you call. I don't, like Jason said, I don't like to be bugged when I'm in my castle. I don't like to be bugged on Sundays. Please don't come at midnight. You would put down rules for them. And then people would be like, oh, even people that don't naturally know how to have boundaries would be like, I guess I'm not supposed to come over at midnight. Spirits are the same
like
way.
I've been saying, on Fridays, I'm like, this is Shabbos. This is my time
Yes.
to be alone.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's been working.
Good.
Or,
See how well that works when you lay the law
to,
down?
Yes, I did. I actually asked, while I was meditating, and I was able to actually ask my spirit to just kind of hold the door closed unless there's an appointment or if they do something. And that, I read that somewhere. I can't even tell you where it is now, but it was like, oh my God, this is such a great idea. Let me try it. But now that I'm even more open, like they're breaking down the door. I'm totally, completely overwhelmed. I'm not so much scared anymore as I'm honestly annoyed. It's like, really? We're not listening to me? Really? I can only do so much. Get in line kind of deal?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And it's in multiple different languages. So, for me, I'm multilingual.
Right.
So I hear things in so many different languages that I'm like, okay, I can only do a couple, so let's just slow it down. That's another thing that I never imagined that would be that hard.
Well, sweetie, maybe the answer is this is the answer. In the beginning, just tell them all, I'm not talking to any of you right now. I need a break, and we're going to figure out a system for how I'm going to deal with you. Right now, we need a break. And get them used to, just like you would with kids who were misbehaving, or if you had puppies and they were misbehaving, you're all totally cut off until you can learn to behave and play by the rules. And you know what? They will. They're almost like, in some ways, this is a bad analogy, but spirits are like sentient zombies. Like they have an agenda. They want a thing, right? Jason's like, I don't know about this zombie analogy.
Now I'm afraid.
They kind of keep coming. They're like kids. They're like kids with no filter. Like, kids with intellectual differences that have no filter. They'll just keep coming around. And you really have got to give them boundaries.
Answers that I'm looking for, I feel like this is not my purpose. Like I can't get to like my nitty gritty because of what things that are happening in my life that I want to, really ask about, or I want to know what should I do? How can I help? What is my purpose? Yeah. With all the gifts, what is my purpose?
Yeah. Is that what you're asking us, you mean?
I'm sorry?
Is that what you're asking us, or is that what you want to ask the universe, but you can't? Okay.
I'm asking both of you. Mm-hmm. My sister just diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's been really trying. And her daughters and her are having a rough time as far as the relationship. And, of course, I'm the peacekeeper, and I'm trying to kind of, as much as I know about all of them, I can't be biased.
Yeah.
So I want to know how I can be of help, not just to them and to myself, but to others as well.
Yeah.
Well, let me share what I've pulled here, Anya. The Star card, the King of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles, and the Star card. I mean, it's clear that you're a bright light there. That you're very aware. It's like you have a lot of gifts there that you attract a lot of like spiritual energy as well that is like headed your way, and that's part of the path. Whether you resist it, like at this point, if it's too much, right? It's like it can be a burden, but that is a large part of your path. That is what I'm seeing. And then with the King of Swords, that's a way of how we communicate our experiences, how we tell our story, how we inform others. It's the card of the writer. It's a card of the communicator. The person who has a story to tell or who has information to impart, and shares that. It's like the kings are all about the expression of ourself out in the world, wanting to be seen, as an expert or a real player, who's like the playing field is quite large, and so allowing for that, And then the Eight of Pentacles, it's a work card. It's one of, just kind of perfecting this. And like Sheena was saying about how one kind of resets the availability that you have with all these spirits who are trying to bust down the door. It's like you want to build a bigger door. You want to like be able to have a system that it doesn't wipe you out. But
right.
But being connected like that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. And you can you can utilize your experiences. You can take that gift and help others who have so many questions about even like the afterlife and all. It's like you can be able to tap into those areas as well and just really go for it and share it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that there's a spirit? There's a spirit trying to get through right now. Did you know that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear it. We can hear it on the. Can you hear it?
Oh my God.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
Could you hear that?
Yeah.
There's a spirit. Jason's looking at me like, "What you talking about,
this
Willis?"
Is what I live with, so you understand.
Yeah, and it's very
basis.
aggressive,
Yeah.
and now it thinks it gets to be on the radio. So it's like, oh my God, Candy Lady now has media exposure. Oh my God, come on, everybody, we get to be on the radio now, and Candy. Yeah, exactly.
Believe it or not, it turns off my phone. Sometimes I'm surprised that I'm still on because when I speak about things like that, it doesn't like it. So it'll like turn off my phone, my TV, or it'll turn lights on and off.
Yeah,
I mean, at first it was really scary. Now I just kind of talk to it. As I mentioned, when the loss of my parents really put me in the state of like shock because where I come from, all the reason why they died is because of where we came from. So, it's it's just, it was hard for me to let go of them. And I just saw signs all over the home, my home, everywhere I go. And I still see like a hawk that comes like every day, comes to my sister's house. Mm-hmm. Birds that are knocking on the window. It's not normal behavior of beings for me in the past. And like I said, in the past 8 years, all of this is like heightened. And I've been trying really hard to kind of suppress it. And I guess by doing that, I just had surgery myself. I had parathyroid scare of cancer. And that kind of opened up my eyes that I think that I'm not learning that lesson of they're going to keep pestering me until they get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for someone who can guide me in the right path of how to do this correctly.
Sure. And honey, I absolutely can help you with that. And we should talk.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
But this one that's all that guy.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a male energy, and it's very strong. It's very aggressive. And one of the first steps, I'll tell you, the most important thing for a first step is to separate out what's negative from what is just needy. Mm-hmm. The negative ones got to go. No communication. Have nothing to do with them. Do not engage them. Oftentimes they don't even want your help. They'll just pretend they want your help to jack with you.
Right.
Because they just want attention, and they'll take any kind of attention. If you're crying, if you're scared, if you're happy, if you're talking to them, it's all attention. Think of them like some little trouble start. Yes, it's like a narcissist. Yes, or like a little trouble starter spirit that shows up during a Ouija board session and says, "Oh, I'm a little girl and I need help," and then it's like, "Ah." So this thing that talks on the phone, just you also there's lots of things you need to start doing for protection, sweetie. Candles, saging, meditation.
I do. Yeah, I've been doing that.
White light prayers, mirror ball prayers, all kinds of things to take out the ones that are just negative that you don't need. And then with the ones that are not negative, they're just needy. It's just like getting them to like, okay, everybody, take a number. It was funny because I was at the grocery store before I came here today, and I like to go to the deli section and get chicken breasts because why make them at home when Ralph's makes them so good? And there were all these people, and they were milling around the deli section. and none of them wanted to take a number, and they were all almost kind of like bumping up against the glass where like the potato salad and stuff is, and just, I guess they thought if they like shoved themselves against the glass, they would get their sliced boar's head turkey faster. And they were literally
that's
like,
exactly it.
And they were like
you're
zombies. They
describing
were
it
like,
to the T.
yeah, they were like, and finally the woman behind us like, we're taking numbers. Would everyone just take a number? And then they all had to kind of like more brains over to the numbers and take a number. But I mean, come on, they got the ticker tape of the numbers is like rolled out there like the Dead Sea Scrolls right in front of you. But people aren't pulling a number because they'd rather just be aggressive and shove up against the glass, hoping that they can persuade you to take them first because of their aggressiveness. Well, spirits of people are still basically people. And they're doing the same thing with you. They think if they bother you and they annoy you, you'll deal with their problems just to get them to go away. But then they'll just turn around the next day and come back.
Yes, that is honest to God truth.
So, sweetie, you just need to learn how to put up filters and how to dissuade them from their aggressiveness, and how to really lay the law down like you would with children or raccoons that kept coming in your house, or any other kind of energetic infestation. You have to just learn to say when, and that's it. And once you do that, sweetie, it'll get so much easier, because then you'll become the lady who's like, we're doing numbers today, take a number. And then at some point you just say, deli is closed, no more boar's head turkey for anyone today.
Well, that's when it
right.
can
that's
become.
That's where I am right now. I'd like to get some sleep. That'd be nice.
That's when it can become like a beautiful experience. Again, when it's not overwhelming you too, and you can find ways to truly like help like spirits or to communicate in a meaningful way. Because now it just like it sounds like it's just like a free for all.
Mm.
And it is exactly it. I mean, I have to say that it is much better in the past few years than it has been in 8. Okay, so I've been really working on a lot of myself, as I said in the beginning, a lot of forgiveness for people that I have lost, people that are still around me, and what I dish out, I guess, is what I get back. It's like a boomerang. That's how it feels like to me. So as soon as I started kind of feeling myself, knowing who I am, inside, from inside out, if you wish, I attract different people now. So some of the spirits are calmer. I feel like when, I don't have the best relationship with my husband. So whenever him and I get into any type of argument, I could feel the tension all around me. They're like pushing him out. I could feel it because he gets sick immediately. Mm-hmm. I make a joke. I'm like, you should be nice to me, then you won't be hurting. I can't scare him. I can't explain to him why I'm saying that, but that's true.
Mm.
It happens all the time. I'm like, don't be mean to me. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed anyone that is ever being mean to me, I'm getting punished. So sometimes I have to like hold back and be like, okay, they're not mean to me. It's just my imagination. It's just me overreacting. Mm-hmm. So me being a Gemini, I'm also, ripped so many times apart, and I'm a digger, I dig in my own emotions. So there's so many things, like I said, I've been working on myself for so many years, but at this point where I am with everything that I'm feeling, it just overwhelms me that I am still standing still, that it's not only that I cannot help myself, but I can't help someone else. And that's what bothers me.
Mm. Well, I mean, the work on yourself will continue,
Mm-hmm.
That we're always a work in progress. And,
right.
It's always about, how we can help someone else too, and sometimes
right.
it's informationally, sometimes it's the one-on-one, the close contact that we have with someone where we're in dialogue with them. but I feel, you know, with the King of Swords, that's a card of where you can, you know, share your experiences. You can write about it. You can just find ways to communicate it to others, and utilize that part of your gifts, you know, and you know, to go for it, because it's like, you know, it's like you have that ability. I mean, so many people I come across, you know, they kind of wish that they were open enough to, like, you know, experience what you're experiencing. You know, maybe not as intensely as you are, but, you know, where they
I'm not
crave.
regretting it by any means.
Yeah.
And I'm really embracing it as much as possible.
No, you're doing great, sweetie. You're doing great. And like we told Vicky, we told our last caller, no, not Vicky, but the caller before, you know, you can't expect, maybe our first call, the one who wanted to be the level 5 of
that was
the
first
5th
caller.
dimension by the time she died. Wow, that's some aspiration.
Oh, wow.
She's like a spiritual honor student. I feel like a slacker now. You know, you
what
can't,
should I be saying?
you can't expect to have everything mastered right away, sweetie. It is such a process. I mean, you know, you and me and Jason and our first caller, Melissa, like we are growing in ways that most human beings don't have to in their lives. And like I said, there are some great books and there's great teachers, but there's no like standard for it. So, you know, there's a standard way to teach people to read. There's a standard way to teach people math. There's a standard way to teach somebody how to play baseball. There is not a standard way to do this. So, we're just figuring out as we go, and you have to be so good to yourself, and you have to give yourself a break that you're using parts of your brain that so many people on the earth don't ever use. And you're learning how to master them. So it's normal that in the beginning, it's like when you learn to drive and you hit the gas and you like go, and then you hit the brake and then that's like your first day driving, right? It takes a while to learn how to ease onto the gas and ease onto the brake and how to work the 2 feet so that they're, you know, how to work your foot so it's on the gas, then it's on the brake. It takes a while to learn that finesse. And you will lose it. You will learn it. It just takes a while. And as you learn it, you will lose the anxiety around it of, oh my God, they're all here. And you'll learn to just be like, okay, you guys, we're taking numbers today. Everyone's lining up for Boar's Head, you know, and just learn to be the deli lady. So but not to stress yourself out. Not to stretch yourself out, sweetie, because the deli lady, honestly, she seemed pretty stressed out. I want you to be less stressed out than the deli lady. We love you so much, and we appreciate this, and I'm always here. And if you want to talk to me about starting to work privately with me, just let me know, and we'll work something out. We'll figure it out. So it's going to be okay, sweetie. You're on the right path.
Yeah, thank you, Anya.
Today, I think Paul and I had maybe 4 or 5 different people that were all coming out as light workers. Now we've had 2 tonight. So it's a thing, right? It's that full moon, and Sagittarius is dragging everybody out of the closet, that thing. Mm-hmm. What an intense moon that was. All right, so we're going to get Alicia on because I want to make sure we have time for at least 1 or 2 more before the end of the day. I know you're such a good guy. I just run you right through these things. All my Lightworkers Unite folks, you guys are all so beautiful. I'm like, and another, and another, and another, and another.
And I don't even have to wear a hairnet like the deli lady.
The deli lady was hella pissed. You should have seen everybody. Literally, there were people whose like their chests were just like right up against the glass. Like if I just keep pounding my breasts on the glass, I know I will get some macaroni salad faster than the people around me. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like cattle. Like, yeah, it's so scary. My mom used to tell me a story when she was little. She had to cut across this field to get to school. And there were these cows in this field, and she would stop sometimes and look at the cows. And they would, if you stop, they would kind of stand there and, you know, come up against the fence, stick their heads through the fence and look at her. It used to freak her out, and she'd run away. But I think it's, you know, cattle and people, right? We're basically just cattle with like 10 more IQ points or so. Alicia?
Or so.
Oh, wait a minute. That was a voicemail. That's not Alicia.
There? What happened there?
That's a voicemail. All right, we got to go back and let her know what's going on here.
When I was walking to school, I'd be walking through the woods in the snow up in Alaska. And,
wow.
Sometimes there'd be moose. But we don't get close to the moose because they're very dangerous.
Because they're mean, right?
Well, it's not that they're mean. It's just they're protective, you know, if there's like a little calf or so.
Yeah.
You know, they're ferocious.
Yeah.
They can get you.
Moose is mean. I've heard that.
You've heard that from Boris and Natasha, though. Moose and squirrel are mean.
Oh no, I've heard that from people that live up in that area that moose you're not supposed to pet moose because they're mean. They're so damn cute. I think they're just pissed because everybody wants to go, oh, because their little faces are so cute. You just want to go, oh, this little moose is so cute. The things like, why I oughta. I'm going to rip off your skull.
Yeah, and they're very capable of it, too.
Yep.
They can just nibble it right off.
All right, we're looking for Alicia. She said she please wanted a reading.
Alicia.
No, we can't find her.
Come to us, Alicia.
If you want to get with us, 818-437-0886. You text me, and that's how we get you on the air. So my mom used to tell me this really funny story that when she was a teenager, and my grandfather took them on this cross the country thing in the station wagon. My grandfather was all about the station wagon, so they went to Europe right after the Second World War on the Queen Mary, came back on the Queen Elizabeth, I think, and he wanted to take his station wagon, so he took it. They lowered it onto the ship. And he took it so he could drive around Europe in his own station wagon. That was my grandpa. He's the thing. So anyway, they took the station wagon across the country, and they go to Yellowstone. They're out here. I think it's as far west as they went. They never came to California, and she was so upset because she never came to California until we came out here before we moved to house hunt. My dad got transferred out here when I was 13. So they go to Yellowstone, and it's like the 40s, the late 40s, and they're all teenagers. And they go and they're walking around, and they're doing their thing, and they're ready to come back to the car. Supposed to meet at a certain time, so they're ready to come back to the car, and everybody comes back to the car, and my Uncle Bobby comes back, and he's got this little bear cub in his arms, and he's like, "Look what I found, everybody! This is so awesome! This is so great! Look what I..." And Mama is like in the distance, and she's like running towards them, and my grandpa's like, put that bear down, and get in the car, and they're all like running to the car and like starting the car and driving off, and Mama's like, "Ah, who touched my baby?" Yeah. And then my Uncle Bobby became a cop.
This is the one who had the bear cub?
The cradler of the bear cub became a cop. Yep, became a sheriff in New York.
Wow.
And his son is a sheriff, and his kids are sheriffs. So rescuing that baby bear, that's how we should have all known he was going to become a police officer.
My dad was a wizard, and my grandfather before him was a wizard.
All wizards? No. Well, we're Irish. We're cops. They called them patties for a reason.
For the paddy wagon.
Exactly. Right?
Get in the paddy wagon. Hurry, the
bear's
wagon. Coming.
For Christ's sake, get in the paddy wagon. Don't pick up the baby bear. Just get in the paddy wagon.
I'm surprised that the bear didn't just open it like a tin can.
Yeah. No, couldn't.
It couldn't?
What, the car? I think they sped away.
Oh,
I think the bear could have ripped the car apart. I think they got away before the bear got there.
Learn them a lesson about
she was just starting to where in the hell is my she was she had just they were already in flight before she realized that an evil human had picked her baby up. Yeah. So don't pick up a baby bear.
No.
And don't squishy the moose. So cute though, you're so cute. If you want to scoochy a moose, get a stuffed one.
Yeah, or a rubber ducky.
A rubber ducky. Yeah. Do you want to talk a story about how we have matching ones of those?
Well, we went to a birthday party.
We did.
In Malibu.
Yep, a Lightworkers Unite birthday party. It wasn't officially a Lightworkers Unite event, but it was for Lightworkers.
But it kind of ended up with a lot of Lightworkers.
No, as I was saying, it was like a Lightworker. It was like Lightworkers Unite because it was all Lightworkers.
Yeah, I think everyone there.
I think everyone there too.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did we do? It's like Angelica, who's
right. Angelica's birthday party. One of my Lightworkers Unite folks.
You have her on here quite a bit.
I do.
She was having a birthday, and did you go outside on the other side there, where it's like the hill?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Like this
the back patio.
Place that is
yeah.
It's really intense because it's really steep. If you sleepwalk, it's like watch out.
It's really scary though because she lives in like a townhome complex. Mm-hmm. And there's in her side, there's like three buildings of 5 townhomes. And the middle one, the Malibu Fires, just came up and took And the two on the ends are perfectly standing.
Yep.
And there's nothing where the other ones are just starting to put the foundation bags down to start to lay the foundation for the new ones.
Yeah.
And how scary that a fire could come up and just engulf your neighbor's house, not touch yours.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like a finger of God, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that just comes up and, you know, takes it. You know, it's can feel like it's very random if you're watching it, but if it's you, you know, it's like you're feeling, you know, like you're being picked on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's very steep. You know, it's just like it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, her
And
backyard
it's also
literally is the hills.
Yeah, and it's not. It's a cliff. You know, because that would be like a, you know, real tricky to navigate that. But anyway, the party was really wonderful. You know, and after you left, we were there a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
It started to you know, bring out the instruments there.
I'm sorry I
guitars,
missed that.
The piano.
I'd had such a long day, and my knees, unfortunately, only right now while I'm healing, they only hold up for so long. I find like 10 o'clock is my window. My knees are like, yeah, you better get home because you still got it. It took me 45 minutes to get home, even though I'm pretty convinced no one lives in Malibu anymore. There was no traffic, but I took PCH down to Sunset, took Sunset across.
Nice.
And then,
I like that drive.
beautiful drive, but it's far from here.
Yeah.
Malibu's far from here. She lives all the way up in Malibu, like way up there past Canaan. And then I have to get everything in the house. And then I have a 4-story townhome, so it's 3 flights of stairs to my bedroom. So it's I have to get, when I get ready to go home and my knees are tired, I have to have enough reserve to actually get into my bed. Yeah.
What happens if you get up the stairs and it's like, oh, I forgot my purse.
Then I
forgot
say a bunch of rassin, and I crutch back down. Or sometimes I just say, you know what, F it. It's gonna get done tomorrow. But sometimes I get halfway up and then I'm like, oh, ice packs. And I have to turn around and get the ice packs.
Isn't there a railing that you can just Mary Poppins up and down?
Yes. Yeah. Now I know why people get that like seat, that the electronic chair that goes up the stairs. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to walk up it. I just want to put all my stuff on it and then I'll walk next to it. It's getting all the stuff up. I literally haul a big bag. I'll probably make Jason help me take mine down today. I put the bag up 3 steps and then I crutch up the 3 steps, then I haul it up the 3 steps. So I literally have one enormous muscular arm now from holding, I'm not even kidding, from hauling the book bag up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I really wish I had, and I may invest in once my legs get better, I may invest in a mini fridge that I keep up in my spare bedroom just to keep waters and ice packs in.
Right.
Because, you know, that's one thing. And the second thing is that I want to get a Wi-Fi controlled thermostat because my thermostat is downstairs. So when it's going to be hot this summer, every time the air conditioning one has to go on or go off, I'm going to have to go downstairs and adjust it. So if you have the Wi-Fi one, you can literally just turn your air conditioner on and off from your phone. Those are my 2 biggies for this.
I think there's a third thing too, and I think it's
knees.
It's one dumbbell.
Oh.
So that you can like work out with one arm while you're carrying the other.
Oh, nice.
So that you don't like get out of proportion.
Yeah,
you know,
they do that for me in physical therapy.
Yeah,
they make me
like
do that.
You're gonna have like one Popeye arm.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Like
you know, I have 2 Popeye arms. You know why? Because this arm, folks, is the cane arm. So this one works the cane and this one holds the bag. Let me tell you, these arms right now, I'm like mini Schwarzenegger with these things.
Okay.
The knees are just for decoration now. It used to be my little arms. I used to say my little arms were just like a T-Rex. They were just for decoration. But now they do stuff. And I also have to hold weights in physical therapy and punch a guy. I punch a dummy, which is kind of cool because, you know, I'm Irish and we always want to hit things, but it's illegal. Yeah. So I get to so I hold these weights and I punch this dude. He's like a self-defense guy for the self-defense classes. You know, when the women go, no, stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does he have a name?
They gave him a name, but I don't remember what it is. Yeah. It's a little odd, but it's...
Do you superimpose like a face on there
No.
or someone from the past?
Oh, that's a good idea. No, see how zen I am now? There was a day when it would have been like, no, I'm not like that. I'm just so zen now. I'm like, no.
Where's the wizard?
I hold no grudges. I don't, I hold no grudges.
You're a reverend now.
Right.
You can't hold
I'm a
grudges.
woman of God now. I can no longer hold grudges.
It's very unbecoming.
It's unbecoming of a minister to hold a grudge.
You want to hear my sermon? I'll give you a sermon.
You're wonderful, my friend. You come back, we'll do this again. I'm sorry we missed you, Alicia. We were waiting for you, holding space for you, and you disappeared. So we'll have to do it next time, my friend.
Well, I appreciate you having me here.
Oh, always welcome. Where can people find you online?
I am at Jason D. McKean. That's JasonDMcKean.com. JasonDMcKean.com.
Beautiful.
And all roads, they lead to Rome. As far as from there, it goes to my Facebook, it goes to my Instagram, all the workshops, seminars, classes.
God, everything.
The articles, the interviews. I was just in Voyage LA.
Oh, wonderful.
Magazine.
I'm supposed to do that. I need to. I did a thing for him a while ago. It got lost, and I need to send it to him again.
Yeah, do it.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, it's like you hear from a lot of cool people who are like interested, and it's like my reading has like gone up too. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really great. It's really great.
That's a good thing to have. I love that. I'll have to email him tonight and tell him I just spoke to you and resend him everything.
Put in a good word for me. Yeah,
I will.
I think my name is still works there. As far as
that's good.
It has it.
Yeah, he's been approaching me for a while about it, and I sent him a whole bunch of stuff, and it got lost, and I was supposed to resend, and I think that was when my knees got weird, and I just didn't. I haven't followed up, and I need to because it's a very sweet group of people, and I really want to do something nice with them. If you missed, if you're looking for me, you can always text me about private sessions and stuff. 818-437-0886. You can email me, Sheena at IamRaisingYourVibration.com. You can find me at IamRaisingYourVibration.com and SheenaMetalSpiritual.com, and my movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity. Please come to our gathering this Sunday, 5 to 8 p.m. Doors open at 4 at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. It's a lovely little place. It's our first time at a CSL, and I'm very excited to be in that wonderful environment. Come and say hi to my good friend, Reverend Mike McMorrow, who helped us make this all happen. And then I'll be in Dallas at Miracles of Joy Metaphysical Center, June 28th through 30th. If you're in the Dallas area, come and see me. I'm teaching 3 workshops. I'm doing privates. I'm doing meet and greets, and I love you all. And I would love to see you again. And then I'll be back there, of course, in the fall for the Embrace Your Spirit conference. So that's all my exciting stuff. And I think July 20th is my next Saturday Night Spiritual. And
is that what's formulating right now? Just kind of
they're trying to nail down make sure the thing is open. Yeah. And I think July 12th is our next Antiques Go show with the wonderful Patty Negri and me. Yeah, check out both my web series, antiquesgoshow.com and wearealtered.com. That's living with the wearelivingwiththedead.com is for the show. Antiques Go shows for the live nights.
We Are Altered? That's
I do a show.
Too?
I do a new show called Altered.
Yeah.
With my friend Carolyn Hennessy from General Hospital, and it's about creating your perfect sacred space. So we talk about altars.
Altars.
Think of it like Tanked, the fish tank show, but for altars.
Okay.
So we called it Altered, which I thought was fantastic because both of us are as sober as can be. So I thought it was hysterical to call the show Altered.
You live in an altered state.
I do. An altered state of extreme sobriety is a very strange place to be, but it's where I've lived my whole life. I don't know anything different than this weirdness.
Well, it's why you're so weird.
It's why it's why I have so much energy to work all the time. Nothing's weighing me down. Go and visit Jason. He's wonderful. Thank you for being here, my friend. The show, the Sheena Metal Experience.com, LATalkRadio.com. It is the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. And you know what happens here, my friends. I know you do. I know you do. Every Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, we rip the veil off the human sideshow and expose those big old Homo sapiens at their most bizarre sometimes and at their most beautiful every single day. And you know it's my show. And it's true, my friends, it is my show. But what it really is, always and forever, it's your experience. Thanks for listening. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow right here on LA Talk Radio. It's a true story.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.